It's fun.
It's a game you can play until you're 75.
All right, the Battle of the Bell in Southwest High. This is
A mistake. There is a heavy law enforcement present.
They're going to a lot of parties.
How would you like to be a model?
Missile destroyer pulled in. There were tears and cheers.
Starting early Monday morning and continuing all day long through August 11th, this will be the scene here.
Nip it good. Oh, you can nip it, nip it. Nip it good. See? Everything's perfect.
As you can see, we're here at El Cajon Boulevard and Rolando Boulevard. This neighborhood continues to be blocked off. This was the scene where 2 police officers were shot overnight. And what a wild scene it was last night when law enforcement arrived here. Police have not yet said whether or not he was shot by one of the officers who returned fire or if the suspect might have killed himself.
Gotcha.
We're at 54th and University in the city's El Cerrito neighborhood. Because as of today, there are a whole lot more orange-shirted people helping to clean up blighted areas.
This is one big area you will see.
Including vacant lots, and in this case, an area that includes a homeless camp. That's because the Alpha Project now has 2 vans to take a crew of 20 from its bridge shelter in Barrio Logan to locations all over the city, as opposed to 10 in one van to mainly the core area. Plus, the program is now 5 days a week as opposed to 3. The first van was donated a year and a half ago by a family-run program called Wheels for Change. More on the family in a moment. The arrival of a second vehicle is courtesy of the Lucky Duck Foundation, involving local philanthropists Dan Shea and Peter Seidler. Employing the homeless involves a whole lot more than a paycheck.
Yeah, check the bushes, everybody.
What you are seeing here involves people putting their lives back together, and much of that includes enhanced self-esteem.
There's a stigma that everybody is a bum on the street, that they're all addicts or alcoholics. That's a lie. That's not true. They need opportunities. See, when you're told for year after year that you're worthless, you start to believe it.
And need we mention, the orange shirts often come into contact with people still on the streets. Nothing like peer-to-peer counseling.
They do homeless outreach as well while they're out there. They see their other homeless people who need a little bit of support and encouragement and information about where they can go to get help.
We also note the Lucky Duck Foundation and Wheels for Change support the employment program through donations. And there was another significant check today. Wheels was put together by student Kevin Barber and his mother, Carolyn, who just retired as an emergency room physician. What we didn't know a year and a half ago when we covered its introduction was that Kevin's grandmother helped with the van. And just before we went live this morning on Good Morning San Diego, she mentioned to me she had a surprise for him. His high school graduation present was a $10,000 donation to the Alpha Project in Kevin's name.
Is there anything better than giving back and having to make beauty out of what we thought were flaws and make it happen? And I am honored this young man has the biggest heart.
There was a lot of that going around today.
Look what you guys done in 1 hour.
Ed Lenderman, KUSI News.
Giovanni getting fresh for his birthday.
You would never know it by looking at him today. But this mild-mannered master barber used to be a real bad dude.
At a young age of my adolescence, I got involved with the gangs and, you know, that whole atmosphere, everything that comes along with that.
Justino Alarcon could be a poster child for second chances. He doesn't want to get specific. Let's just say he got wrapped up in a lot of bad stuff at a very young age.
Before you know it, I regretfully found myself incarcerated.
That was age 16, and unlike most prison inmates, Justino used his time on the inside, preparing for his life on the outside.
You could do the time or let the time do you. And I chose to do the time. I didn't want to continue the cycle, and I didn't want to find myself in the revolving door that so many find themselves in.
During his 17 years in prison, Justino did a lot. He got his Associate of Arts degree, he learned graphic design, and the trade of heating and air conditioning. But one day, everything changed when an old inmate approached him with a different idea.
You're gonna learn how to cut my hair. And he handed me a cheap, big disposable razor and a comb.
You heard right, and apparently it was meant to be. He was so good with a razor and a comb, word got out, and he was a popular guy.
And next thing you know, within a couple weeks, I was cutting everybody's hair. I had a line of guys to get haircuts with a razor and a comb.
After all those years behind bars, he became the man who made the inmates look good. Little did he know, it was perfect training for his life after.
Yeah, I just never imagined that it would be, it would serve as a blessing for me.
These are the streets where Justino was raised, the streets where he got in a lot of trouble, and the trouble that eventually sent him to prison for 17 years. Once he got out and he learned that skill, he promised himself that he would help as many kids get off the streets and not repeat the mistakes that he did.
Now that he has his own shop, he has a place to help those kids, and he does. It's called the Locker Room Barbershop in Chula Vista.
This is my way of touching lives in a quiet way. This is my way of giving back in a quiet way.
And once word gets out that a former gang member is now a successful business owner, his life becomes an example of what's possible.
I would hope that I inspire, that I serve as an inspiration, as a role model, and an example to them, of what someone can do, who really, really wants to do it, There you are, buddy.
Hard to believe Justino's life turned around with a razor and a comb inside prison. But sometimes it's not what you have, it's what you do with it that counts. In Chula Vista, Dan Plant, KUSI News.
It's exciting when you go out and look at all the different new ones.
The Ford Ranger.
I just like to come down and check them out.
'Tis the week after Christmas, and what do you know? 'Tis a great world of wonder called
the San Diego Auto Show.
At the convention center, the show's brightest star is a colossal collection of each kind of car.
We have over 400 new cars for you to look at.
I'll get 14 miles to the gallon on mine. That one, you get close to 40.
What would you like?
The Toyota Land Cruiser.
There's Honda and Hyundai and Nissan and Rover, all in one place for folks to look over.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Man.
Beautiful.
Well, I'd rather have someone else buy a new car and let them take the depreciation, and I'll buy it used later on.
There's Chevy and Buick and Mercedes-Benz.
And in one of these babies, you're sure to make friends.
There's Acura, Ford, Mini, and Jeep. And this one's got room for campers to sleep.
Time to go to sleep.
They come with computers and 4 on the floor. Want to try one out? Just open the door.
I'm looking for a race car. One of those bad boys.
There are grown-ups who search at their own special pace.
I'm looking for the ones that they're giving away.
And kids who can dream of a car they can race.
Jaden, how fast do you think you could go in this Mazda race car?
I think that I could go like 6,000 miles an hour.
There are big rescue vehicles that make you look up, and a chance to relax and just hold a pup.
Isabella, what do you like more, the puppies or the cars?
The puppies.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
So check them all out. Look them over and under. You'll say this year's auto show is a real
world of wonder.
As the number 2 seed, Central Spartans took on the number 6 seed Santa Fe Christian Eagles in a great matchup. Let's go ahead and roll them highlights. Spartan cheerleaders showing those 4 letters we all love, KUSI. Opening possession, the Eagles' Jack Bozeman nails this 34-yard field goal to give the Eagles a 3-0 lead. Central responds on the ensuing drive. Angel Nava Esparza punches it in from 4 yards out, 7-3 Spartans. Second quarter, Michael Linguadoka drops back and is intercepted by Joseph Tarango. He eludes a tackle right here and follows his blockers all the way to the Spartans' 26-yard line. We have a nice hit right here by Eagles defender. Sets up this 1-yard touchdown run by Nava Esparza, 14-10 Spartans. Fourth quarter, once again, it's Jack Bozeman, this time from 45 yards out, 16-14 Eagles. Central responds quickly again as Angel Nava Esparza goes 26 yards untouched, and our final score, 28-16 Central.
It's an amazing feeling. I thank God for this. We're all brothers and we love each other like we're one of our own. And just having the city behind our back, that's what helps us strive through this win right now.
It was a great football game and they came out on top. And we talked last night at our team dinner about what it means to be a man. It means to know who you are and where you're heading. And each one of this group right here knows who they are and where they're heading. They're going to do unbelievable things in life.
And there it is, the championship matchup in the Division III will be played at Southwestern College at 1 p.m. Number 2 seed Central versus the number 5 seed Morris Tigers. And that will do it here pretty much. Angel Nava Esparza, a career-high 4 rushing touchdowns. The Spartans remain undefeated in a great, great game today. And we'll send it back to the station to Paul Rudy.